Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Oh, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, comment. And I've got a link tree down below. It's got my social media. And it has my Patreon if you want to help out. Thank y'all. So I'm going to review John Marshall, The Man Who Made the Supreme Court by Richard Brookhiser. I have to admit, I knew who John Marshall was. I didn't know much about him. Holy cow, this book was amazing. It showed every side of Marshall. And it wasn't done in a political manner. It wasn't done in a petty manner. It was done in one of the most intellectually smooth manners that I have ever read. Brookhiser paints a picture of Marshall, both his good sides and his bad sides. And wow, I came away understanding the history of early U.S. and understanding of the early Supreme Court. It really helped me understand those eras so well, especially the Supreme Court, because rarely do we have this in-depth of a study of the Supreme Court. So let's get into it. So on the political and personal side in this book, it goes into so much that you can tell Brookhiser really spent his time researching Marshall. Marshall technically was the last Federalist. Him being in the Supreme Court gave him the unique opportunity to be the last Federalist, as in the political philosophy of Washington that Alexander Hamilton and John Adams turned into a political party. That kind of Federalist. He was the last Federalist standing because everybody else had passed away. They had lost power a long time ago, long before this. His romance with his wife was just so interesting. This shows a side of a man that helped shape this country, and it shows him from a personal, political, and a very personal side, and a political philosophy side that it will help you understand disagreements of that time period. It will help you understand why certain things were the way that they were. And I think that's amazing. Now, John Marshall, being the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was there for many decisions. But he took another view that had not been done. He was the third Chief Justice of the Supreme Court who was ratified by the Senate. That was President nominated and then ratified by the Senate. There was another person in there, but they were put in there as Congress is out of session, so we need somebody, so we're putting this guy in, and this guy was not ratified by the Senate. So, third official Chief Justice, there was a fourth one, but he wasn't ever ratified by the Senate. Marshall took his philosophies and helped shape several rulings. And he was using the philosophies of Hamilton, of Washington, of the Federalists that came before him. But on top of that, he built a consensus. So they worked together. If there was going to be a disagreement, it wasn't so much that there was a disagreement. They worked together to narrowly focus what they would all support when it came to a ruling for a while. If you truly want to understand what the Supreme Court, that the basis of what the Supreme Court was, because every Chief Justice, or the two official Chief Justices and the other feller before Marshall, they didn't shape the court like Marshall did. This will help you understand how the Supreme Court got changed. And while, yes, there were several things that have changed over the years, that basis that Marshall built is still there. And his rulings are still studied to this day. You should read it. Seriously, it's one of those things that I can't speak highly enough. Brookhiser paints a picture. Holy cow. I think you really should take a look at it just for that alone. I can't speak highly enough of this book. I really can't. John Marshall by Richard Brookhiser. The Man Who Made the Supreme Court. I can't speak highly enough of this book. I really can't. It's amazing. It gave me an understanding of a time period that nobody talks about anymore. People don't pay attention to that. They give mouth service. They give lip service, pardon me. They give lip service to this time period, but this book truly tells you what was going on. It truly tells you why federalism was able to still be within our Constitution in the way that it stayed within our Constitution. As a political philosophy, that is. John Marshall's life was interesting, but what he did for this country, wow. Now, you may not agree with him, but he really was a fascinating character within our history, and everybody should know this guy. This isn't some random person. No, this was one of the longest serving Chief Justices of the Supreme Court, one of the most influential, and in all honesty, one of those that his philosophies on how to work the court should be paid attention to this day. But hey, that's just my opinion. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day and y'all read this book. It was just a good book to read. Bye now. Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.